Hi Taurus, how are you doing? This is going to be a tarot reading for you for December 2020. I can't believe we're at the end of the year already. Lots of astrology in this video too, as well as tarot cards. So if you know your rising sign, check that video out as well for extra guidance and cosmic support. But for now, let's get right into these cards, Taurus. So how I'll structure the reading is by pulling for the very recent past. We'll look at the current energies around you now, Taurus, and then we can look into the very near upcoming future, leaving 2020 into January 2021. Okay, Taurus, we've got the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Swords. Okay, so you've been busy, a lot of communication. Cycle's coming to an end, I think, Taurus. The Empress. Oh, we've got this Taurus Venus energy right here. Love to see it. So, okay, we've been feeling good. We've been building ourselves back up in our strength, I think, Taurus. Let's look a little bit deeper now, and we'll go to the current energies coming up around you, Taurus. And then we'll shuffle more clarifying cards and get into these as we need to. So coming up in the present energy for Taurus. Okay, new opportunities. Oh, exciting. Can't wait to get into this line, Taurus. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Okay, so we're getting some calm. Look at the contrast between the Ten of Swords and Six of Swords. We're able to find ourselves on our feet again, get like a little bit into more calmer waters, I think. Page of Swords. Okay, so a little bit more, we're curious, there's a lot of communication going on, but it's getting healthier, Taurus. Okay, let's, Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This might have involved you kind of walking away from a way of thinking or something potentially that didn't work out the way you planned it to, Taurus. Let's go then into the near future, ending December 2020, going into January 2021 for Taurus and Taurus Rising. Oh man, they're starting construction out on my street. I hope it's not too noisy. Okay, Queen of Swords. We've got Six of Cups, beautiful energy coming up. There's a lot of support around you now, Taurus. And then we've got the Devil. Okay, I'm glad this card came up because I wanted to talk to you guys about Saturn, who is now in Capricorn. This is the Capricorn card. There's a lot of Saturnian energy. This month in December 2020, one of the biggest astrological transits of the year is happening. Saturn and Jupiter move into the sign of Aquarius, leaving the sign of Capricorn. Really big news for Taurus. Really big news for Taurus rising. That's going to be Saturn and Jupiter moving into your 10th house of career. Lots of big changes and advancements and kind of long-term projects coming to completion for Taurus rising. It's going to be a great few years for your career, Taurus rising. And for Taurus placements, Taurus sun, Saturn coming into your sun, so sort of squaring your sun sign, you're going to be figuring out what you want out of life for the long term, just as at the bottom of the deck. Okay, let's get into these cards then. So Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Empress, Taurus. Okay, so there's been a lot of, I'm going to say that this kind of conversation you've been having with people, it's left you feeling like kind of really depleted, really drained. There's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of like crossed words, crossed opinions, and you're just kind of, maybe it just really made you feel like you were close to a breakdown. Their energy may have been very draining for you. Like maybe they were confronting you with things that you just didn't really want to speak about, or just like they were too in your face. They were very opinionated. For some, it just left you totally drained of energy. I think for some, maybe even a little bit worse. This card does speak of like kind of sometimes a crisis point, but I see a breakthrough rather than a breakdown for you, Taurus. So I see like you overcoming this Ten of Swords energy in a huge way. We'll get into this middle row, but the present is looking really good. Let's just see. You realizing your worth in the past, Taurus, is what got you thinking like, I need to get out of this situation. They can't talk to me like that, or, you know, they can't use me like that. Maybe these these people had you running around after them. I see a lot of movement with the Eight of Wands, but the movement stops in a dead end here. So it might have been like a one-way kind of one-way street with this person. You know, they weren't really reciprocating everything that you were giving. Look how beautiful this card is. So this is the abundance, but this Empress knows her worth. The Empress energy is very receptive. It's a feminine energy. It's basically when we're receptive and we're open up to receiving the abundance that we deserve. Sometimes we have a hard problem with receiving, and sometimes it makes us uncomfortable, but when we're in the Empress energy, it's when we're welcoming abundance that we deserve into our life. And that could have just come for you, Taurus. Like, I see this Eight of Cups walking away from something that maybe just didn't work out, or you just saw something in it that you knew something wasn't quite right. Whatever the situation was, it was something to do with you then recognizing your worth, which I think is like an ongoing journey for you, Taurus. I see the Empress recognizing your worth, but then I also see Eight of Cups, like we still have a journey ahead of us in terms of our love, emotional fulfillment, welcoming in the love that we deserve, basically, Taurus. So presently, Taurus, this Ace of Pentacles speaks of a journey you're on. I see with the Six of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, brand new journey, step in a new direction. An opportunity to take a new path in life is presenting itself for you this month in December. That's great, Taurus. We're in eclipse season, beginnings and endings coming about in our life, like to fuel us on a more destined path. So with these two cards together, this journey you're going on is going to kind of support you more. The sixes in tarot are about support, and we've got a couple of them here, which I love to see. So you're being supported after some turmoil or some like tension with another, or just like a downright big argument or something more explosive may have happened. But the Six of Swords is telling me you're headed towards more inner peace and more inner calm. Smoother waters are ahead of us, and the sword suit represent our mind. I can see that you may have been putting up some boundaries with this other sword energy here. There are some sword energies. Could be just that there's been a lot on your mind, Taurus, or it's just that you've had to think a lot of things through and figure out how you're going to be handling things, basically. The Six of Swords does speak about you kind of clearing up a few things, getting away from some tension, heading towards more support. That is kind of going to pick up your spirits a bit again, I think, Taurus. If there had been some sort of a slump in energy, I can kind of see that with the Ten of Swords, not even a slump of energy, but you were almost just forced to kind of take a step back or retreat a little bit, retreat from the world almost. It looks like this month you're getting the kind of pep back in your step again. Getting curious about what's going on, wanting to reach out to people, ask questions. You're excited about things again, and I love to see this pep in your step again, Taurus, because this month alone, this Ace of Pentacles may present itself to you literally like an offer, Taurus. But how I'm seeing it most strongly at the moment is like, this is the opportunity, because aces are all about opportunity. They really aren't the promise of things in tarot. It's just saying that basically the atmosphere is ripe for opportunity, and like if you were to reach out your hand and grab what's energetically around you, it's a really potent time. Things are aligning for you, basically. But I see this opportunity for you this month, Taurus, is like a healing journey, as seen with the sixes, communicating to others about your healing. Maybe it's time you start opening up, if you like, Taurus, if you're ready to do that about different things. But Six of Swords is basically this journey that you're on is one towards inner peace and more calm. That's great. Okay, let's look at the upcoming row, and then I think we'll clarify with the card or two. But let's look at this Queen of Swords. So this month, or coming up at the end of the December into the new year, what are we looking at, Taurus? Well, we're looking at you seeing the truth of a situation that potentially has been in like the way up for a while. Both of these cards speak to me of a Libra energy. So we've got cardinal air with the Queen of Swords, and we've got Libra's card Justice. You may be dealing with an air sign, Taurus, a fellow air sign, also like a Venusian sign, Libra. I'm really seeing strong Libra energy here. Also, I'm seeing Capricorn energy here. So you may be dealing with some of these signs, Taurus, at the moment, and it looks like either you're kind of waiting to get the truth of a situation from them or about them, or for some you may be in some sort of a legal entanglement with one of these signs at the moment, Taurus, or potentially you're in a legal entanglement with somebody, outstanding with a landlord, outstanding with an ex-roommate, or outstanding with maybe a spouse or an ex-spouse or something like that, custody, some sort of a thing like that, where you're searching for the truth of it. I say custody, I see six of cups here with children involved. So for some that might be what it's speaking about, or just for some reason something is coming up around finalizing contract, signing things towards the end of the year. That could be as simple as it is. If it is just something that has to, like, you have an end of year deadline or due date, maybe literal due date if you are having a baby, so congratulations if that applies. But if you have something that you're trying to wrap up by the end of the year, or you just had at least a goal set. Look, a goal set, I know 2020 isn't really the prime time for maybe achieving all the goals we wanted, but I bet if we really reflect on the year that we've had, we can find a couple of positives at least in there. Things that maybe we didn't expect we would get done, or opportunities that we saw for just taking time for ourselves, really, if it wasn't just such outward kind of expressions of ticking off the goals we had planned. The devil energy here in the future is just talking to me about a possible entanglement with others, getting the truth of a situation that potentially before left you feeling like you couldn't see everything clearly, pretty much in the dark about a situation. Justice, Queen of Swords, does speak to me about getting the truth, which is great. And then the Six of Cups is talking to me about enjoying the pleasures of life, connecting with people that you love towards the end of the month. I think we should go deeper into these rows and clarify now the past. Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Empress. It looks like the past had been obviously more challenging with communications, or you just running around after somebody and basically maybe not being appreciated, but it ends with you recognizing your worth, which I think is the start of this wonderful healing journey that you're on now, Taurus, for this month in December. Let's look at this past row and clarify the Empress. It is the Two of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so it looks like you were kind of just at a dead end with something in your life recently, Taurus. That was a decision that had to be made. It could have been work related. I see Eight of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. Could have been work related. It could have been something that you were working through. Ten of Swords and Eight of Pentacles can kind of speak of like working with a therapist or something, and like working things through with somebody. Potentially you could have been trying to work something through with another person, and you kind of you couldn't decide on how to move forward with them, I'm picking up. And that's what I'm picking up with that Two of Wands in reverse. Other than that, it could be just some sort of you kind of anticipating something, Taurus, like you're anticipating maybe a rejection of an offer, or you're like anticipating worrying about your next step. I kind of am seeing with the Two of Wands. There is a sense of restlessness with it too, but yeah, some anticipation about the next steps in your life. I think maybe, Taurus, is as simple as that. Let's look at this Ace of Pentacles now in this middle row for the past. Beautiful abundance all around you. This card is a gorgeous, really earthy energy, Taurus. I really think that's a gorgeous Taurian card, actually. Okay, so let's see. If you're not dealing with a Libra in necessarily, Taurus, but I do see that energy coming up strong for some of you. It's like you're dealing with trying to get fairness in a situation with something, resolve something in a fair way. Could be with children, could be with siblings, people from the past. Some sort of a resolution is what you're looking for, like you're really looking for it. You're bound to it nearly. You can't, Devil card, maybe go without it. Let's look at the middle row, Ace of Pentacles now, and see what kind of journey Taurus is on. Seven of Cups. Yeah, so it might be just figuring out your options after all is said and done with a healing journey, Taurus, and then we're kind of trying to see things clearly again, I guess. There might have been something emotionally or like and I don't necessarily think with another person, Taurus, like this situation. I'm seeing this situation here, Seven of Cups, Eight of Cups, as like there was something that you had to walk away from in order to get clear about your next steps in life. Not even like in such a dramatic sense of walking away, but like an opportunity presents itself this month for you to kind of say like, oh, maybe this would work. It could come in the form of a communication with another or a conversation with another. But I do see this Seven of Cups coming up as in like getting clear on your next step is really what's most important, but healing comes first, and then kind of leaving anything behind of this eclipse season that really just isn't serving anyway, Taurus. I think that could clear your options up for you about what's next going into 2021. Okay, so Taurus, we do have a positive transit coming up in January for Taurus rising particularly. So for Taurus rising, Aries is in your 12th house, and Mars has been transiting through Aries since June, end of June of 2020. Mars will leave early January, I believe it's around the 7th. And then that's going to be, actually, I think it's a little later than that. I think it's around the 20th. And then, so that was kind of going to be alleviating a lot of 12th house topics intensity for Taurus. 12th house topics are our mental health, institutions we're part of, but it can be institutions like things like even schools or like, you know, universities, hospitals, if we work there, if we work in a prison or something like that. If we work in psychiatrics, I'm seeing helping people like that. And I do see the Queen of Swords as sometimes like some sort of psychiatric nursing or something that might be coming up for some of you. Well, those kind of themes have been under focus more for Taurus rising over the last 6 months, and it'll be kind of a nice break for you to have Aries or Mars leave Aries, and kind of that will create you having to pay less focus to 12th house topics when Mars leaves there, because Mars is all about our focus. And you know, Mars transits, when they're in 2020, Mars went retrograde, of course. Mars transits are usually 6 weeks, but this one lasted 6 months. 2020, you know how it is. Okay, let's go into this middle or this last line of the near future for Taurus. Okay, I want to look at the Devil card, Justice card. I want to look at the whole thing actually. So it's an interesting row. There's going to be you have a lot of support around you, Taurus, but you're waiting on an answer on something or the truth of a matter, I believe. The Queen of Cups. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Cups here. I'm going to see what else we have coming up next, because it's interesting. I have the two queens in a standoff here. You might be the Queen of Cups. You might be dealing with the Libra, and there is some sort of there could be some sort of a legal entanglement between you two. And that's what's kind of coming up. The Tower coming up is Aries, it's Mars. So this is what I was just talking about, Mars in Aries. That's going to be a really lighter energy for Taurus when for Taurus rising in particular, when Aries leaves your 12th house, or when Mars leaves your 12th house. This unexpected news could come to you. You might get the resolution that you're looking for, Taurus, sooner rather than later. You might find out what you're trying to hear about sooner rather than later, in an unexpected way potentially. You know, by January you might be hearing of something that you weren't expecting to, and I'm seeing this as kind of just coming up in the immediate future for you, Taurus. Lots of supports with the Six of Wands. Reach out to family, friends, people that know your situation, people that have been around you for a long time. There is a very kind energy around you, I see, with the Queen of Cups. Somebody maybe maternal, somebody just that feels like family to you, or just understands you, I think, at least. And then you kind of have somebody that's also, you know, fighting your corner. Maybe it seems like a lawyer to me, or, you know, somebody who just knows the facts of the matter and they're making things make sense for you, Taurus. Let's hope that makes sense to you, Taurus. Okay, let's close off the reading with a couple messages from the universe through the lens of Sagittarius. So we're in Sagittarius season, and Taurus, we're in Sagittarius season. I want to ask a couple questions for Taurus through the lens of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so you know, very attached to ascending towards the highest self, the highest version of ourself. Let's ask, is there a message for Taurus from Taurus's highest self right now? And I'll just pull one card for that. Three of Wands, and it's in reverse. It's like you know that something is going to grow very soon, Taurus, and there is a level of resistance. So the Two of Wands before the Three of Wands, of course, they're both in reverse. And these cards are very similar, Two of Wands and Three of Wands. This is about upright taking a chance, and this is when the risk pays off and we took what we had. We had our one wand in the bank. We had another wand to invest or, trade with somebody, some faraway merchant, whatever. And then we were networked, we came together, we grew, we expanded. That's what the threes are about. But because both of these are in reverse, Taurus, I feel like the universe is trying to tell you, or a message from your highest self is trying to tell you, don't resist networking again, even if something didn't work out before. Collaboration, I think, is going to be very strong for you, Taurus. In fact, I think Saturn squaring you, Taurus, or wherever, particularly for Taurus rising, Saturn moving into your 10th house for the next 3 years and Jupiter being co-present for at least 2021. Really, really constructive energy coming up around Taurus for building a career that's going to last the long run. This could be, Saturn transits are over a decade or over 2 decades. So, really long transits, it could be a really long project that you're building, Taurus, something that's going to last. But there's a sense of resistance around you at the moment, Taurus, about taking a chance. It could be just because, of past things, cycles have come to your life, and cycles have recently come to an end in your life, Taurus. You might be just still on this healing journey. You might just be still kind of figuring out the fallout from that. Like, let's face it, 2020 has been a very impactful year. Plenty of ups and downs, plenty of potentially tower moments. The tower moments are those that kind of come out of the blue. They kind of shake us from our foundations, but if the foundations are strong, they will withstand the tower moments, and you will, of course, they're going to feel shattering, but it looks like you've a really a network of support around you, Taurus. It looks like people want to mingle with you. It looks like people want to collaborate with you, want to work with you, want to network with you. You've proven yourself to be really valuable in their eyes and skillful. So you've got really good support around you. Let's see what's coming up. Last card, Taurus, closing out this reading. Sagittarius is represented by the Archer with an arrow, direction-based action. So let's pretend, Taurus, you have the arrow from Sagittarius. Where are you aiming that? Where are you taking aim? And where would Taurus benefit from applying focus over the next maybe 12 months from this Sagittarius season to the next? Let's see what's coming up for Taurus. The Father of Pentacles in reverse. So this is your card, Taurus. I feel like I've been reading this deck mostly reversed anyway, just because I don't think it really matters on these pulls. I just like to get a little bit of a more nuanced or deeper sort of sense about what's going on. So this is fixed earth, like you, Taurus, and it's talking to me about a very mature and stable energy. You're not quite where you want to be, Taurus, in terms of stability, but that's okay, because not only all talking about 2020 being an intense and unpredictable year in general, it was for so many of us. There's things in our life anyway that we attained this year, and it's all going to start anyway with this journey that you're currently on, and that's a journey towards more stability, like that inner calm. You are on a journey to stability, Taurus, regardless of the position of the King of Pentacles or Father of Pentacles in this deck, but King of Pentacles, same energy. It's really strong, it's really secure, it's really like a healthy card for your body too. I see body health and physical health being really good. If anything, this Mars transit through 12th house, especially for Taurus rising, had been more of an impact on mental health than physical health, but they can be related, of course. I just see that this is a message for you to find an area of your life maybe that you feel was like most impacted by the tower, and start there and maybe start building security from there again, Taurus. But the card is still really positive for you. I'm glad that your energy came up. It's just maybe saying that you're just not quite where you want to be yet, but next year is a brand new year, new goals, and take your time with it. Look after yourself, number one, anyway, Taurus. Well, that's going to be the reading I have for you for December 2020 in general. I will check in with a shorter reading mid-month, Taurus. I will be around this Saturn-Jupiter great conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. I don't know how much you follow astrology, Taurus, or are interested in that. that. But it's a pretty major transit. These great conjunctions happen every 20 years, and you know, they haven't happened in the sign of Aquarius, a conjunction like this, in like I think 800 years or something like that. And you know, that's it's going to hearken the dawn of a new era, a shift in collective consciousness. These planets have been in earth signs, making great conjunctions in earth signs for the last 200 years. Finally, they're moving into an air sign, and they'll make their conjunctions there, which a conjunction is just then meeting in the exact same place in the sky, same sign, same degree of the sign, same minute. And they're going to be happening for 200 years now in air signs. It's pretty exciting. So let's check in around that conjunction, see how the energy is flowing. It's definitely a good time, Taurus, every sign, to start thinking long term, like thinking about new cycles in your life. What's going to maybe be something that you can build to last now, Taurus. And anyway, let's check in again then. Feel free to hit like, share, subscribe if any of these messages resonated with you today. Bye.